Hello everyone, Harmon Smith here. I just got back from playing a round of Pokemon, some Dragon Quest II, lots of great old games, right? Games that I'll be coming back to for years to come, as opposed to something like Ghost of Tsushima, which has come out and pretty much already been forgotten about. It's kind of remarkable. This is a release that the media, the gaming YouTubers, the shills, they're very intent on coming out and trying to present this narrative that Ghost of Tsushima is not only a good game, but one of the best games of the generation and a great title to close out the PS4 launch lineup. This, the PS4 library, like this is the last great PS4 game until we have a whole new generation of great PS5 games to look forward to. The reality is quite different. We had no games on PS4. There was nothing all generation long. And Ghost of Tsushima, going by what I've seen, seems to be another generic, boring, open world Assassin's Creed clone by a mediocre developer that has no idea how to make compelling experiences. I remember 10 years ago being told that Infamous was one of the most unique, interesting IPs in video games in recent years, and having actually played the first two, Infamous 1 and 2, I came away disliking them both. Like, games that initially I thought I would be very into were stale and boring, right? Infamous, I think, kind of kick-started my hatred, my contempt for gaming media overhyping mediocre AAA games, and that sort of trickled into like other avenues. Games that I hated more that were getting even more praise: The Last of Us, Assassin's Creed, BioShock, Mass Effect. The list really does go on and on. The Witcher 3. Really, make no mistake about it. The main reason that the gaming media is desperately trying to hype this up, it's to try and wash away the backlash of The Last of Us Part 2. They are trying to keep the narrative towards PlayStation positive in a time where Nintendo is rampantly outstripping them. Like, these people hyped up God of War 2016, or 2018, excuse me, 2018 for selling 8 million copies, like the best-selling game ever, like the best-selling new PlayStation IP ever, right? 8 million units sold. Animal Crossing is well on its way to selling 3 times that. And these same people on these same channels are shit-talking the game and downplaying the Switch, its library, its versatility, its features, its mechanics, its online modes, its everything. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Breath of the Wild is better than this, and they do not deserve to be put anywhere near the same level. If you want a great open world video game, you need to play Breath of the Wild. It is not worth your time or energy to play Ghosts of Tsushima. And that's kind of what I wanted to sit here and do this today. I really desperately want to see how Angry Joe actually tries to sell you on this mediocre Sucker Punch PlayStation exclusive featuring Samurai, and maybe give you a bit of idea of what could be wrong with the game. Obviously, I haven't played it myself. I have no intention to, but Horizon Zero Dawn came out today on PC, and nobody's impressed with it. It's a straight-up broken port. It's terrible. Like, once these games leave PlayStation hardware, nobody gives a shit about them, which is kind of amusing if you think about it. Like, these games have no value other than like what the narrative dictates they should have. It's why The Last of Us is so well regarded in spite of being a complete piece of shit. So I got Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know. Like, I doubt it's as bad as The Last of Us Part 2, but the comparison I'm always hearing is that, like, oh, it's a better Assassin's Creed. And that just makes me say, well, Assassin's Creed was fundamentally flawed and complete shit. Like, why would I ever want anything even remotely similar to that? Like, Assassin's Creed is garbage, but... Alright, without further ado, let's get going with the Angry Joe Ghost of Tsushima Angry Review.
Hey guys, what's up? I just finished the review. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. We were in the middle of a move. Thank you for your patience, and thank you to everybody who submitted a community post. I hope you really enjoy the review, and yes, I'll see you guys next time. Check it out.
I love Sponsor Block, by the way. This video has been brought to you by Sponsor Block.
Lord
Never be
Shura.
bothered by ads in your YouTube videos again.
What do you want?
My men tell me your nephew stalks them in the night. He stabs them in the back. He steals supplies like a thief.
Jin would never do that. He is a samurai.
Oh, he's abandoned the ways of a samurai.
Lies! All of it! Lies!
No, I think you're missing the point. I think he's nuts. Like, he released all of the bears on our ships and had the bears eat all of my men. He weaponized your murder hornets. Murder hornets.
What?
We found a dude with just charred feet. There was just a burnt ground. I think he put bombs on him while he was sleeping. It doesn't make any damn sense. We found this in a farm animal. Inside of a farm animal. This is all we found of him. I like this guy. The worst was we found.
What does this have
before
anything? What does any of this have to do with the
every
game?
man stabbed in
Next,
the butt.
the next
Not only
evolution
like
of the
cheaply,
sponsor skip, the
in
skit shit,
the
the
butt.
skit skip,
That's
skip.
the only place they
We need
were
a skit
stabbed.
skip.
He's gone nuts.
Nostalgia Critic would be so
Oh
BTFO
my
by
god.
this.
I don't know the guy.
Anyway, you see this a lot with a lot of these YouTubers. They pad out their videos with these nonsense skits to sort of obscure the fact that they don't actually talk about the game itself at all in this massive 30-minute video, besides some vague like praise that like, this is the Assassin's Creed game we've been waiting for. I remember days. I'd be very surprised if he even brings up Breath of the Wild in this video, because you can't really bring this up without saying you can't bring up Breath of the Wild in this context without acknowledging that Breath of the Wild is better than this. Like you can't, like you just can't. There's nothing these games do better than Breath of the Wild.
Ghost of Tsushima is a samurai epic open world masterpiece from
No, it isn't.
Sucker Punch, and a game that marks the end of an era and serves as a perfect finale to the PlayStation 4 generation. It is an incredible.
Yep, exactly as I said. That's the narrative they're trying to push. This is the finale for the PlayStation 4 era. Like, this game will go down in history. Like, forget the good games from like your childhood. This is where it's at until the next thing we need to sell you shows up.
Incredible title to go out on, and it helps set a new standard for Sony exclusives. In my opinion,
Ow.
it's easily in the company of the best mega AAA open world games, like stuff from Rockstar.
Rockstar sucks too. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 was garbage, GTA 5 was garbage, GTA 4 was garbage. The original Red Dead Redemption was garbage. San Andreas hasn't aged well. Like, Rockstar is nothing. Like, Rockstar is complete shit. Nintendo is where it's at now, okay? Stop being in the past and just look towards the future.
This game, it is beautiful, it's compelling, it's got great characters, there is fantastic combat mechanics, and it allows you to approach things how you want. And
Yeah,
it does
I guarantee you it's not as flexible as what Breath of the Wild does.
all of this with breathtakingly beautiful visuals.
Yep,
It's
visuals, story, things like that. Oh, and the combat's pretty good too, I guess.
basically Assassin's Creed, but better. In
Yep.
Japan, and without all the bullshit microtransactions. So of course I'm gonna fall in love with this game.
Why do you need to bring up the fact that the game doesn't have microtransactions? Like, not having microtransactions should be a given. Like, if a game has any form of microtransactions, you should just, like, not buy it. Like, don't buy the $60 purchase. Like, don't support those practices.
My blade thirsts for blood.
Yeah, we need a skit shit. We need a skit.
And honor guide me. Vengeance will be mine.
Yeah, I doubt this is in the game.
There once was a ninja from Japan.
Wow, these Ghost of Tsushima visuals are really,
As fast as
they're
he
really
can.
realistic. I can't say I care much for the
He
acting
gives
or
them
jokes
sort of
though.
kicks right onto their dicks and forces them right out of his lane.
Is it mostly skits? He spent
There
more.
is so much care, love, and attention to detail that even those in Japan have praised it, earning its perfect rating score.
Oh, Famitsu is totally corrupt. Famitsu is totally corrupt. These days, like a perfect Famitsu score is not the accomplishment it used to be. Let's see. Let's look at what recently have gotten 40/40 scores from Famitsu. Just for comparison. So, yep. It used to be stuff like Ocarina of Time, Brawl. Yeah. Really that few? I thought they were a lot more credible than this. Vagrant Story, I have not played that. I really need to get on that. Let's see. Yeah, Brawl. Yeah, it's not a 10 out of 10. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Pokemon Black and White, Skyward Sword, Yakuza 5. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, yeah, you can't trust Famitsu. Oh. Yeah, look at last year's 40 out of 40 Famitsu score. Death Stranding. Death Stranding, the last game that people desperately tried to defend. That Angry Joe desperately tried to pretend, oh, at least it's not very fun, it's not very good, it's not very engaging, but at least it's original. Like the same people who are consistently shitting on original IPs like The Wonderful 101, Astral Chain, Ever Oasis, Codename Steam. Well, Codename Steam isn't that original. It's very similar to Valkyria Chronicles, actually. Like, all these original, great, new Nintendo games, right? Like, from every year, right? But somehow, Kojima makes a new IP on PS4, and suddenly it gets a 40 out of 40. I wonder how that happens. Oh, and 5? Yeah, 5 doesn't deserve a 10 out of 10. Yeah, so you can't really trust these people. They are corrupt. They are shills. Game journalists, even in Japan, are complete parasites. And I think most people, most enthusiasts, understand that. It's just these people, the game journalists, the YouTubers, who are trying to pretend it has some semblance of credibility.
Matsu, the third ever Western game to do so. This is,
Yeah, with the others, when GTA 5 is your competition, yeah, you can't trust them.
Yes.
This combat already looks awful. Like, it looks like he's just mashing buttons, mashing the square button, like, holy shit. That looks awful. 10 out of 10?
I think that guy
Are you
deserves
serious?
more
40
than he
out of
thinks he's
40?
He just lit
No.
the sword on fire and then
No.
The game has a fine balance between taking inspiration from actual history, the first Mongol invasion of Japan, and creating a whole new fictional tale that's fun for players to partake in. It tells the story of Jin Sakai.
Focus, Sakai. I'm getting used to the grip.
Did you just call me suck guy?
Sakai?
You suck.
You're
Yeah,
a
it
suck
looks
guy.
like
Motherfucker, you
looks
suck.
like Zelda Breath of the Wild has better archery segments.
Head of Clan Sakai
Features.
and a samurai warrior in late 13th century Japan.
So let's recap. Like I can pretty much guarantee you that Breath of the Wild has a better open world with more versatility, more things you can do in it, more mechanics, more dungeons, more enemy variety, more things you can do to the enemies, more approaches you can take on the enemies. I'm just throwing shit out there. Holy shit. Better archery mechanics, better swordplay, better combat, like better weapons, like just it never stops. And we're like, what, 6 minutes into the review, and I'm just already like, yeah, this is not a 40 out of 40. This is not a 10 out of 10. This is not something that's worth getting excited about just because, oh, it has samurai in it. Like, really? Like, what does it do that makes it a good video game? Oh, it pulls from real history. Who cares? Who cares? That would be like if I said that, like, Ace Attorney is good because Phoenix Wright is a lawyer. Like, yeah, obviously that's the general idea. You're, like, giving the basic description of what the game is like. But no, like, Ace Attorney works because of, like, the mystery, the storytelling, the characters, like, the puzzle solving, just all of it, like, blending together, like, seamlessly to create this absolute masterpiece. Like, Trials and Tribulations, the third Ace Attorney game, is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I'm getting really pumped up at the idea of being able to play through it again. Love these games, right? Love them. But I wouldn't sit here and say that, like, oh, they're good because you're playing a lawyer in Japan. Like, no, that's not what makes the games appealing.
Was known as the Kamakura period, where samurai reigned as the leaders of the land. Then these samurai must now defend their island of Tsushima from a Mongol invasion led by the merciless Khoton Khan, I think it is. And at first, Jin, alongside his uncle, employs the honorable tactics of the samurai. Direct battle in the open, right? And this game lets you do that. They get this beach charge at the beginning. It's amazing.
Get ready.
Tsushima, fuck! Let's do it! This is what I was
Just
born
typical
for.
scripted
Do
events.
suicide into battle.
It's no different
Do
than what
Valhalla.
Uncharted
Oh, wait, that's the
does,
wrong
right?
game.
Like, you're just going along, like, scripted events, like, randomly. Looks like a Dynasty Warriors game. Holy shit.
Fuck you.
That looks awful.
And there's even a mechanic where you can call out your enemies in standoffs and kill multiple enemies at once.
There you go. This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, because he let it go through.
Oh, he failed. Oh, yeah,
If
by
you
the
could
way,
do
Angry
it
Joe
right,
really
if not-
sucks at games. Like, that was not something you should have failed at. They
It
give you
sucks
such a
almost
wide
all your
window.
health out if you miss and it leaves you vulnerable.
He plays, like, everything on easy. Okay.
All four of them.
Why does he stream everything, too? Like, that's bothered me for years. Like,
Oh God.
yeah, it looks terrible. I mean, not as bad as The Last of Us Part
Send
2,
your
to be
weakest
fair, to be
word.
fair, but it's still
guy
pretty
was too
obvious to me.
Beat the shit out of me.
I love these open, empty
it,
fields
Joe.
with nothing in them.
But I love this play style. It's my preference. But soon in the game, you are just overwhelmed. And you start to engage in less than honorable tactics. The ways of the ghost. Or what I like to call dirty ninja bullshit. And this is how other Joe loved to play.
What? Shit.
I mean, here's the thing. I didn't like Sekiro either. I was very, very critical of Sekiro. I thought it was like typical Dark Souls bullshit, overhyped bullshit. However, looking back on it, You know, I didn't like Sekiro, but it looks better than this for sure. Like, I think that the character designs are better. I think it has more going on. Like, I remember watching, like, Mike Witte, like, do that segment with that giant white snake, and I was like, yeah, that actually looks pretty good. This is not doing it for me. This is... I can see through this bullshit. Ugh.
Better.
Why? Sit!
Do you want this, like, pre-chewed?
Yes, slaughter. Yeah.
Oh, interesting how he hasn't brought up Sekiro at all. Like, Sekiro was a samurai game, right? I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, why aren't you comparing the two? Like, why isn't that, like, becoming a... Why didn't you bring that up to begin with?
Oh my god! That was fucking amazing!
Yeah, Samurai are big, big right now. I bought a samurai book myself.
Combat, and eventually it's these two combat philosophies that come to head in the story itself. The old ways versus the new ways, ninja or samurai. Who will win this duel?
The time of the samurai is over!
How dare you show yourself here, Straw Hat Joe? Flute guy, play your music.
Yeah, I need to watch some samurai movies myself. I mean that's the thing. Whenever I see a game like this, you know, whenever I see Red Dead Redemption, like, or this, I'm just like, yeah, I'd like to read more samurai, watch more westerns, read more samurai books, watch more westerns, read some more history, you know, anything but playing the actual garbage video game. Like, why do people think that they're somehow getting a good history lesson out of playing these things, or like understanding like the culture? Like, okay, that's I remember playing Assassin's Creed 3 for the first time. I grew up as a bit of an American history enthusiast, right? Like, I did study extensively in school about like the basics of, like, you know, the revolution and shit like that, as much as you can in school, because schools deliberately don't teach you anything. And you know, even with my limited knowledge of like the events and the history and like the names and like the people involved and stuff like that, like, you can tell that Ubisoft doesn't know shit about the American Revolution. Like, you can tell. It's so ridiculous. It's honestly kind of obnoxious. I just hated it, and I imagine this is no different. I mean, to be fair, I imagine it is better than Assassin's Creed. Like, what possibly could be worse? But that's really not saying a whole lot.
This is about to get dirty. You, sir, you lack honor!
Interesting how this video has been out for a couple of days now and it hasn't cracked 1 million views. I mean, I think it will eventually,
Your
but
tactics no longer work.
this game really doesn't feel like it has a lot of hype behind it. It just sort of came and went already.
You sneak up behind people.
Like, it was
to
sort of like
stab
Final
them
Fantasy
in the
VII
back.
R or Doom Eternal. Like, people
Sneak
hyped it up,
around
sure, but
and steal people's
it
things
didn't win
without
people
their
over the way
permission.
that like The Witcher 3 did.
Your mother's rice is as hard as my penis.
And Doom 2016
That's
is better
it,
than
Joe.
Witcher 3, by the way. So
This ends here.
it has nothing to do with
Sorry
quality.
you had to read this way, my friend. But today, you
It
die.
it's mostly the graphics, the marketing, and like how big of a deal it is, how hype worthy it is. I don't know. What causes the hype? Like, if you have something to talk about with your friends, I think about it afterward. I think that's the main thing. That's what I always notice these people emphasizing. Like, when it comes to like discussing Game of Thrones, like, oh man, we're so excited about talking with our friends about this. Like, your friends don't know shit, so
Holy
stop.
shit.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that in instant replay.
Oh yeah, I need to watch Samurai Jack too. Come to think of it. Oh, by the way, this isn't funny. This is like pure that guy with the glasses just skit bullshit. Is Joe the only person still doing this stuff? Like, he's been doing the same kind of content for years.
Honestly,
Like, Doug
though,
at
the
least did
best
the
way to
reboot.
go is
I mean, to be fair, the reboot was worse, but
It's
Didn't you use a
I don't know.
bird
Joe
book?
doesn't have the same kind of autism that Doug has.
And that's frankly.
That is something. Okay, I'll give Doug credit. I'll give Joe credit here. I don't hate Alex and other Joe nearly as much as I hate Malcolm or Tamara. Like, okay, I'll shit on like Alex and other Joe for like, okay, having bad taste in like movies, games, whatever. Like, whatever. Most people do. I don't have a problem with that. If anything, they seem like rather cool people, actually. Especially Alex. Like, I would love. Seems like a pretty chill dude, really, when you get right
That
down
is
to
why
it.
this game is so damn fun. And while Red Dead Redemption may
I mean,
have a
they don't
slightly
really
better
seem like bad
story
people, honestly.
or more memorable characters, what Ghost has, even over Red Dead, is its
Why are you comparing it to Red Dead? A game that literally no one cares about.
varied and engaging combat.
Like I said, shit
There
taste.
are 4 different stances, each tailored to defeating certain other combat styles, like your enemies with shields, spearmen, big dudes, or sword guys. And in addition, you've got different legendary moves that you can learn by going on these fun side quests that you learn about from listening to the people of this world.
Tell me the story. I need to know what he's after.
When Tsushima was
Oh,
first
cool.
settled, a strange and terrible thunderstorm swept across our island. Wherever lightning struck, beasts of lightning appeared.
Whoa.
Yeah, I remember they tried hyping up how organic the navigating the world in this would be. Like, oh, you follow the wind.
These
Like,
things give you like
you don't
these
have
impressive
you don't
little
have a
side
UI.
distractions
You
where you
follow
must
the
defeat
wind.
like a boss, and of course learn
was
to
just,
unlock the ability
nonsense.
itself.
Use a ghost.
like it comes down to the same things, really.
There you go.
Heavenly
Damn.
Gotta love these awkward looking animations.
That can be
Yourself
close.
like a pee-pee. That's what he said.
I'm bored even just watching this. Like the only reason I'm like interested in this, like
It all helps to make
he
this
seriously like
universe
gave it a
feel
9 out of
alive.
10. Like really.
Bow to him.
No.
Yeah, he was a good opponent in terms of how many times he killed me.
One of the better characters you had.
I'm getting hungry.
There's something for you.
So, my people's.
I need to get back to watching How to Train Your Dragon. I was watching
And
it
as with
yesterday.
any
but
good open
never
world
got around to
title,
finishing
in addition to the main story of defeating the Mongols, the world is just filled with content. It's got side missions, helping each of your companions
Are they
and
good side
friends
missions?
out while learning more about their backstory and various fun missions.
So basically the same
exploration
thing.
is
So basically the
organic.
same thing as every other game does. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't described anything truly novel in 15 minutes of runtime. Like it's all stuff we've seen before.
It's rewarding. And there are these baths littered, these hot springs littered throughout the countryside that you bathe in. You can raise your health.
You know may want to join me for this.
He did.
Hey, he did it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a girl named Yuna in this.
No,
Oh no.
You like what you see?
Oh no. Final Fantasy X.
Ah.
Ugh.
He said
said that.
He said the thing. That's all I wanted to see. He, won't
said
stop
it.
saying it, so it's like, all right.
He
that-
said
What does this have to do with the game? Like, oh.
There are these bamboo strikes that remind me of Mortal Kombat.
You raise your health by going in the hot spring. Like, what does that have to do with the actual overall quality of the game at all? Like, how is that any different than like, oh, you collect 4 heart pieces to raise your HP? Like, maybe you'll talk about that if like someone has never played a Zelda game before. But generally speaking, it sounds like he's padding it out. Like, what makes this? Okay, first of all, what makes this game good and what makes it better than other games? Like, I haven't heard anything. Like, I haven't seen anything. Like, it looks just honestly, it looks less interesting to me than Infamous did. Like, Infamous at least had like, you know, Cole has unique electrical powers. Like he accumulates more of them. He can influence the environment in specific ways. You have like the morality system. Oh yeah, the morality system. Remember in the aughts, right, when the big thing for a while was like hyping up morality system. So every game would sort of give you this like arbitrary good and evil choice, and then like reward you if you did good, and then punish you if you did bad. And then like game journalists like would promote it as being this, oh man, this game really has you make hard decisions. Like Mass Effect did this, like BioShock did this, like Infamous did it like terribly. Like I think Infamous was actually the one where it started to become unpopular because there was no reason for you ever to do the evil thing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I like. The narrative has sort of changed over the years, but we're sort of seeing the same behavior now, where like these people will just come out and just hype up the littlest things, anything they can possibly manage in order to like try and sell you on this game. Like that's what they're doing here.
Damn it! Too slow, you slow. Got it.
By the way, holy shit, dude. Holy fuck. Skyward Sword did this better. The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword, and Wii Sports Resort did this better with motion controls. The same minigame, better, more fleshed out, with a more innovative control scheme. Like, I'm just throwing out random games that do things better than this thing. And you know, Skyward Sword is super underrated. Wii Sports Resort is incredibly underrated. By the way, we need a Switch Sports, Nintendo. Get on that. Anyone who knew, you know, how fun that was, how fun Wii Sports Resort was, how fun Skyward Sword was, like, no one would be defending this. And I do think the only reason Angry Joe is talking about this is in order to talk up the new big AAA game.
Oh, God damn it!
Your third fucking try. Oops.
You hit a wrong button.
Hey!
You cut through 7 bamboo.
There are these shrines that foxes lead you to help you unlock more abilities. And if you bow at a certain number of them, these little animations can sometimes surprise you.
Whoa! I did it! Cool. See, I am the Lord of Dragonflies.
You brought forth a
What?
plague of insects.
Now they will follow me, my pretty.
Make them attack the boars. Nope.
Ow!
Help me, dragonflies!
Help me, Dragonfly! Ah!
And then the dragonflies
I-
run to you because the rain's coming.
I hate Twitch playthroughs. I do. It's not entertaining. It's not funny. It's not appealing. Like, there's nothing about it that's interesting. Why do you do this? Okay, first of all, why do you stream it to make money? But why do people watch it? Because they're lonely fucks who can't play the game, who won't play the game themselves. Like, they're on a new level of loser. Like, there's the gamer, and then there's like the people below them. You know, the watcher, the streamer, the viewer, right? The people who get all of their gaming opinions from Scott the Paused and Arlo. You know what I mean? Like, that's who we're dealing with here. Like, again, like people like declaring simp behavior as purely being towards like male towards females. It's not purely that. You know what I mean? Like, these people sort of have toxic mindsets towards a lot of things. Politics, their relationships towards friends and family, and their relationship with celebrities and video games, entertainment in particular. I keep seeing this. It's interesting how these people, right, these obsessive compulsive nerds who don't really do anything else with their lives, right, those people will sort of try to push a narrative so hard, so frequently, that no one who feels otherwise, right, people who may be doing other things or have more things going on, can really stand up to them or really be aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? This is kind of how like Undertale FNAF became a thing because like these weird ass people who watch these Twitch streams just supported and enabled these products despite being completely awful because of for their Twitch content, right? So people will overreact to things happening on Twitch. If you watch Ninja, you are a loser. If you watch Angry Joe on Twitch, you are a loser. If you watch, Cam Girl on Twitch, you are a loser. I just... All right.
Fuck this, we're gonna get wet.
Fuck this guy.
You can whip out your flute and play a tune, which can shape the weather around you.
Sometimes the fox
So,
is secret
exactly like
right in the
Zelda.
shrine.
It's exactly like Zelda. Exactly like Zelda. Holy shit.
Now no one gets to play. All right,
No one
all
gets
right.
to play now.
Hell, you can even write haikus and dirty limericks like Joe does. You know, not very good ones, but at least you can choose and tailor them according to what you think is best.
The winter snow falls. Sudden flash of silver steam. Red stains the pure white.
These skits are especially awful. They feel really forced too. Like you can, I feel like I'm starting to feel like you can sort of tell when Angry Joe has like legitimately enjoyed a game versus as to when he's like forcing it for views. Like this is a pretty good example of forcing it, I would say. Like Yakuza 0, that had pretty good. Like Yakuza 0, Resident Evil 7. I mean,
They call the ghost. I live in a castle by the coast. I hide in tall grass to stab men in their ass. That's the place I like to stab most.
oh no.
Get out of here, you horrible, disgusting ninja! Drawing pornography in my dojo! Get out! Get out!
Absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, customized, authentic looking armor, colors, pieces, masks, different katanas, swords, bow and arrows, and numerous side weapons that you utilize that gives you so much utility and power, like the kunais.
Fuck, I already fucked it up.
What? This game looks like it gives you so much room for error. Did you see that? Like he just flicked his wrist and threw like 3 of them. Like
The smoke bombs.
yeah, it's like Arkham Asylum, but somehow
shit, you
looks
can
even lamer.
fucking
Oh, Arkham City,
murder 'em
although
and-
even lamer.
In the smoke.
Interesting how these people have stopped
combat
talking about
is
Arkham
just
City.
so much fun here, and we loved every second of it. And all this stuff
Damn, this video is
is
boring.
upgradable. And the game
I would not have watched
constantly
this.
evolves its
I did not watch this video before I went live, and I can see why, because this game doesn't interest me at all.
combat nicely throughout, making you more and more powerful throughout the experience, giving you more ability points until
So, like
you unlock
every
a
other
ghost
game
mode,
ever.
when you're halfway into the game, which turns the screen red with the blood of your enemies.
There can be only one.
Wee! What the fuck is this? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Angry Joe is cringe for sure.
You can even play in Kurosawa mode. But honestly, he's a legendary director, by the way. But honestly, it's crime to deprive
Kurosawa?
yourself of
I should
all
check
these
that out.
beautiful colors. And,
Yeah, are there any
and
of
brightness
his movies
that
on
this
Amazon
game has.
Prime? I might as well
But
go
it is
on
cool as
do
hell
a Twitch
to play
stream of
on
that maybe at
once
some
because
point.
it wears its inspirations on its sleeves. I highly recommend watching any of this legendary director's movies. My personal recommendation would be Ran, this sprawling epic with siege battles and massive armies fighting in Japan. I know there's more personal samurai stories, but I really like the massive combat of that one.
I don't know. Should we skip ahead? I couldn't watch The Last of Us Part 2 video either. Like 20 minutes of this, yeah. Does he talk about the problems at all? Let's see. We'll skip around a bit.
To make a very thematic play experience.
Has he said anything bad at all? Yeah, these skits are awful.
Absolutely perfect. It sets the scenes beautifully. And just like the epic Sony reveal you remember with the flute guy, you can pretend to be flute guy.
Wait, what? The epics? The one that you fucking hated? Like, I can explicitly remember, like, people making fun of this because it was awful. Like, and I think Angry Joe himself did too. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he make fun of this guy? Ugh. Yeah.
Fucking stuck.
Yeah,
You're
twitching
stuck
the.
now.
Oh, you did. Just don't push
All right,
it.
let's get his final thoughts, and then
From the afterlife, Joe.
and then we'll focus on something else.
It's gonna get
I don't know.
And while Jin himself isn't the most interesting person, unfortunately, he does at least have a good supporting cast. Though some of the character motivations here seem suspect, a little nonsensical, and maybe the game is a little too serious at times. I just wish there was a tad more comedy or relaxing moments, or maybe some of the supernatural stuff. That stuff is there, but it's amazing. And I wish there was more of it. There's also a lack of lock-on, and that can be really frustrating when you're supposed to use certain stances on certain guys. I would have liked to have a little bit more easy, direct selection method, but it still kind of ends up working well in the free flow of combat once you get used to it, but it is a little frustrating initially. I played the honorable way, Uncle. No, I didn't do that. But, you know, it forces you to go down a path. And it could have maybe used branching paths with these two philosophies.
Oh, no.
Allowing you
Branching
to actually
paths.
choose
Oh, no.
one.
Yep.
It's a 9 out of 10 from me. It's probably an 8, but just how it executes
Obviously,
things.
we're like a 5 or a 6, to be completely legitimately honest with you. Like, he tends to really inflate these scores. I don't even know what to even talk about. There was no review. Like, it was a lot like The Last of Us Part 2, where it's just him coming out here, hyping up everything, and then just sort of downplaying all the issues. Like, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima's issues are as more widely known as The Last of Us Part 2's. Like, I legit think the only reason Joe actually talked about some of the finer points, some of the issues that The Last of Us Part 2 had was because he knew that his audience wouldn't accept him coming out. Like, we saw this happen, right? Where, like, he initially really hated all of the reveals, but then, like, he got a message from Naughty Dog and made a video about it and was like, you know what? I'm gonna give The Last of Us Part 2 a chance, like, because Naughty Dog reached out to him. They told him that you have to give us the benefit of the doubt, and he went along with it because he is a cuck, he is a shill, he's a parasite, it extends to games like this as well, like less controversial games like this that don't deserve our praise or attention, or even our attention, really. We certainly don't need to buy or play them, let alone like even consider buying or playing them. I'll go out and buy this game. It's great. Like, why is it great? It's Samurai. Like, that was his review. Like, nothing, absolutely nothing. Embarrassing. Just awful. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to do when it comes to everything I wanted to do with that. All right.